Hey everybody, Scotty from Scotty's Record Shop with video number 3 of 3 of my December vinyl finds. So, I'm trying to blow through the rest of these 10 or 15 more albums. Start off with Joni Mitchell, Court and Spark. I paid $1 for this. I can't say no to that. Big Joni Mitchell fan. Only have a few more of her 70s albums to get. It's a great textured cover and original pressing on Asylum for that one. Needed to fill some holes in my Steely Dan collection. I've always liked Steely Dan, and this was one of them that I didn't have on vinyl. I had the CD of it, but Gaucho, not my favorite album by Steely Dan, but as a completist, I needed to get it. Nice pressing of it too. Moving on, we have a nice original pressing of Pretzel Logic. An upgrade. My copy was kind of trashed, so for a couple bucks. Some of these records here I paid more than $1 for, like 2 whole bucks. Ooh. Definitely an upgrade from my copy. I played my copy to death. Had it from the time that I probably 10 years old. Probably had it. Asia from Steely Dan. And my last Steely Dan record. Here, Katie Lied. Pretty sure this is an original pressing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an original pressing of Katie Lied. Great record from Steely Dan. The last Bob Seger album that I'm going to actively search for now. Mongrel, 1970. I don't want to say 80. 1970. The last of the 3 Bob Seger System albums. I don't have Noah on vinyl. That's not a very good record, I don't feel. And I don't really want to pay $100 for it because it's a very difficult record to find. You know, if somebody flies it in my face for a relatively good price, I'll grab it. But finishing up my Steve Miller Band, this was $1. This was, I don't know why he had this for $1. In great shape. Second album, Sailor, and it's an original pressing too. It's a stereo pressing. Sailor, new Capitol label. I did pay a couple bucks for this one, the very first Steve Miller Band, Children of the Future. I'm missing a couple of his albums. I'm working on that too, and we'll do a video of Steve Miller Band music. Vicki Sue Robinson. This record, when I first saw this, I thought instantly, Turn the Beat Around. Same year, 1976, I believe. It doesn't have that on there. I haven't checked it out yet. It was $1. If it's anything like the couple, I have a couple 3, 4 of her 45s. I like them all, so I'm sure I'll like this. You know, mid 70s disco. You know, the late Vicki Sue Robinson. Speaking of disco, the late Donna Summers. Trying to collect all of her records. I just don't want to pay a heck of a lot for them. This one is Once Upon a Time, a double album from like 1977, I believe. In great shape. This was one of these albums that a lot of people may see it and they'll overlook it, especially most of his early work. Rick Springfield. People think, okay, Rick Springfield, Jesse's. First thing most people think is General Hospital, and I've forgiven him for that. But I don't mind Rick Springfield music, even the more popular, you know, Don't Talk to Strangers album and Working Class Dog. I thought those weren't bad early 80s albums. But his 70s work, which a lot of people don't really know a lot about, they're great albums for the most part. This is one of those albums. Looking for a couple of the other ones. His first hit actually in America, a lot of people don't really realize that, wasn't Jesse's Girl. Yeah, it was Speak to the Sky in 1972, I believe. 72 or 73 on the Capitol record label. Carly Simon, 1979, the album Spies. I'm finishing my Carly Simon collection. It was $1. It's not her best work, but it's in great shape, so I grabbed it. Her comeback album from 1987, Coming Around Again. It's not my favorite album of hers, but again, I'm trying to finish my stuff. My Carly Simon collection. I did finish my James Taylor collection. This one I had, but I didn't have the original pressing, the first pressing. If you look over here, I can never do this camera thing right. Over here, under the title, James Taylor and Sweet Baby James. On later pressings, it says Fire and Rain and Country Road, telling you that those were the two big hit singles from this record. Well, obviously, it's not on this one. And this, so that means this is the first pressing of his first Warner Brothers record anyway. I'm going to go through probably next month and show you my James Taylor collection. Because I think it's pretty much done. That's in great shape, by the way. The cover, isn't horrible, but it's got some wear. But the vinyl is in just wonderful shape. So I jumped on it for $1. Flags, an album I didn't have on vinyl. I had it on CD, but finally got it on vinyl in great shape. This record is a great record. Uriah Heep, Look at Yourself, with the original mirrored cover. It's, you can never. I'd never seen one of these with the cover being immaculate. You'd pay mega probably for it. It's an original pressing too, the original Mercury label. The vinyl is in great shape, and the cover is in decent shape, especially for $1. Okay. Three Dog Night, one of the few albums that I was missing from Three Dog Night. The first live record, 1979, live at the Palladium. Gatefold cover. Really love Three Dog Night. People think of their hits, but their album tracks are great as well. Especially on the early albums like this. I'm missing the first album now, and I'm missing Seven Separate Fools. I believe it's the only other album that I'm interested in owning by them anyway. Here we go. John Cougar. It was $1. One of these from my childhood type deals. Nothing Matters. And what if it did? 1980, I believe this album came out. Jackson Browne, his first record. Not the first pressing, but his first record. I have a couple of other pressings of this. The original first pressing of this, just for an FYI, the cover is a textured cover. It's burlap. It feels like burlap. It's really, really cool. But this, actually, if we look at this, this is a 70s pressing on Asylum. Mid-70s Asylum label. So, Atlanta Rhythm Section, 1979. I don't want to say I'm almost done with my collecting of their stuff, but I like the Atlanta Rhythm Section. A lot of people overlook this band. This is Underdog, 1979. This one, I just didn't have it on vinyl, so it was $1. Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. As you can tell, there's a little bit of like a name that was removed from here. The vinyl is in great shape. Other than that, Mark here, the cover's in great shape as well, too. So it's a keeper for $1. And I'll end with Bread's first record, 1969. Great thing about this one, I have the 70s pressing of this on the Butterfly Electra label that was so prominent in the early and mid 70s. But this is actually on the original Electra label. I believe it's the original for 1969 anyway, that label that they used only for a short time. The album's in great shape too, so that was kind of a find for $1. So, alrighty. So that ends another exciting episode of Vinyl Finds. December Vinyl Finds, anyway. So, until next time, everybody, peace and love.